Hello there and welcome back to my channel. I'm the Rogue Witcher. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, we'll be doing a review and breakdown of the hit show It. Welcome to Derry, episode 5 of season 1. I'm super excited to dive into this episode, guys, and break it down for you and give you my thoughts on the episode and all future theories. Just before we get into the video though, guys, you know the usual drill. If we can like, comment and subscribe and help me beat the pesky YouTube algorithm, get me seen by more people, I would appreciate it. But I'm not going to waffle on. Let's get into this breakdown and review of It. Welcome to Derry, season 1, episode 5. We pick up at the end of the last episode, going into this one where Halloran has just finished interrogating Taniel. He's obviously got all the information he needed out of his brain and tells the general, we have what we need and we can begin getting ready to take on Pennywise. Leroy is asking what is going on, and the general says it's about time we gave you some answers. We see Marge recovering in the hospital after the vicious attack by Pennywise in the last episode. Lily goes to visit her and somehow isn't been arrested or in a youth penitentiary, because Marge has covered for her, saying it wasn't her, even though a whole classroom saw her standing over her with a weapon. Okay, I'll suspend belief then. They have a little heart-to-heart on their friendship, and Marge apologises, of course, for not believing her about what's going on in Derry. And Lily says, unfortunately, it's probably not the end, but it's okay. We'll face this together. Then, following Lily, she then goes and meets up with the gang at the usual hangout spot to go over what is next on how to take on Pennywise, when all of a sudden there is a noise from the tent. A couple of the lads pick up weapons, getting ready for what could be a threat. And who opens the tent door? It's Maddie. Is he alive? Maddie looks a little worse for wear, very pale, but says that he's been kept under Derry in the tunnels, surviving all of this time. He says that he escaped from Pennywise when an opportunity arose in the day when Pennywise sleeps. A little suspect, but okay. And he says that one of the other kids is still alive down there. The other ones, though, unfortunately have sadly perished. The kids now need to decide what they're going to do about it. A very interesting bit is where the keepers of the Pennywise legacy, if you will, the tribe people that are still alive in Derry, obviously protecting, keeping the borders secure and keeping Pennywise trapped, they let a little tidbit out, which I find quite interesting, about how Pennywise discharges into the water supply. Now, this is just a theory that I am thinking of. Is this what makes people in Derry a bit weird and a bit how they just let certain things go and don't question things? And does that lead to, when they leave, they lose their memories a bit? Is that Pennywise wanting that? It's just a theory I have. Let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on that. I'd love to hear. Mr. Grogan is about to hit the Shawshank Express. He's on a one-way express bus to the prison. Unfortunately, it's not looking good for him. Just before, though, he manages to get on the bus, taking him away, someone bursts through the crowd, points a gun, trying to kill him. The police manage to wrestle it off him. He screams, "You'll pay for what you did to my children," alluding to that he is the father of the 2 children that unfortunately perished in the first episode. Or do they? As Maddie says one of them could be alive. Interesting. In a weird turn of events, Miss Hanlon, after all the chaos is going on, sees a very strange prison guard smiling, looking awfully creepy and awfully weird. All of a sudden, when someone passes her, he's gone. What was that all about? Was that Pennywise messing with her? Rose confronts the general about what has happened to her nephew Taniel. They have a bit of a heart-to-heart and a bit of a truth-telling story that, yes, I may have lied about the pipelines and stuff like that. And although I do have a bit of a memory, not just recently come about Derry, he alludes to 5 years ago being experimented on with some sort of drug by the US government that makes him remember all of his previous experiences in Derry. And that leads him to some weird conclusion for some reason that he thinks it's a good idea to then trap it. And that's the key to ending wars, by being able to control this thing. Rose says this is a terrible, terrible idea. But if you're going to go and through with it, now that you have obviously all the answers out of Daniel's head, he's going to need to guide you. He's the only one who knows. And she gives him the ancient weapon of their tribe. It seems as if, though, this is a way to get Daniel in a position. Not sure why at this point. Obviously, we will find out. But I was like, what's going on here? Very interesting. And it's kind of a bit suspect that the general would just trust that just because he knew Rose once, way back when, one summer when he was a child. A little weird. Lily decides to round up the group after speaking with Ingrid and believes that they have a moral obligation to go after the missing boy if he is still alive down there and to save him, as he is their friend and they have to stick together. She uses a bit of a analogy her dad gave her about anchors and boats. It was quite moving, actually. I thought the actress delivered the lines very well, basically saying, what are you going to do? Are you going to weigh me down, or are you going to, keep us up with the boat analogy? Are you going to keep us afloat, or are you going to sink us down? I thought it was pretty cool, and I think the actress did a very good job, as it motivated all the kids to be like, well, no, I want to help. I don't want to weigh us down. Let's do this as a team. And they all agree to go down there and try and save the boy, risking their own lives. The military begin their mission as they descend down into the tunnels. One thing I want to know, though, and I wonder what anyone else is thinking, is that how is it these tunnels just all happen to lead to all 13 spots of where the things, were buried 400 years ago, we find out. That's all a bit, lucky. Are we saying that when Derry was built, perhaps the people on the tribe, whose, again, job is to maintain safeguarding from this thing, that maybe they had the sewer system built that led to all 13 spots? Is that what we're saying? So that if they ever needed to access them, they can, and then keep track of where it is? Or is this just a load of baloney? I'm not too sure. While the mission is underway, Pennywise begins playing tricks. Halloran has a vision of his grandmother warning him. We get a sort of inclination that she has the gift, and then his grandfather turns up, who then begins to threaten him with this lock box. He wants Halloran to open it. What is in the box, and why is Halloran so afraid? And it's very evident towards the end of the vision that it is, of course, Pennywise pretending to be his grandfather. Why does Pennywise want it in the box that's in his mind? What is that about? Very interesting. Two other soldiers then are confronted with something they believe to be Pennywise, and it was pretty funny. Pennywise decides to go into disguise as that famous poster of the US Army, I want you, but in a zombie form, and attacks them and kills them. Two soldiers down, and we are just getting started. As the mission delves deeper into the sewers, Taniel sees his opportunity to escape and begins to run off. One of the soldiers opens fire, causing him to lose balance and, of course, drop the also important weapon that he cannot drop or lose. Typical. I felt that was a bit of a cheap moment, but okay, let's suspend belief. He is running for his life. Mistakes can happen, and I will let that go, I suppose. The kids, just before they go into the tunnel looking for the boy, decide that they need, obviously, a way of combating Pennywise's fear, which will lead them to being eaten. They then decide to take more of Lily's mum's special stuff, and they decide to take 3 each, because that way they will definitely not be scared and he won't be able to eat them. Sort of missing the point that maybe he just won't eat them and he'll just tear them apart. But okay, well, again, suspenders of disbelief. And they decide to take that. But of course, not long after, going through the tunnels, they're as high as a kite. They're wandering around, having a grand old time, seeing the colours, feeling real good. Yet Maddie seems absolutely fine. I always knew, obviously, but come on. If you didn't know by then you had to know by that point that he was just completely unaffected. Leroy and his partner, now separated and on their own going through the tunnels, all of a sudden start hearing things, except Leroy does, his partner doesn't. It's his wife. She approaches him. He starts to think, what is going on? He realises, no, it's not his wife, and he shoots her. She falls to the floor, and then just as he gets close, a great big smile on her face, and then descends into the depths of the water. It was a really cool shot, and it was really well done. And he then made it very clear to his partner, if we see anything down here that's out of place, we have to kill it, no matter what. which will lead into what happens later in the episode. We then get to the best bit of the episode, guys. Maddie leads them into a dead end. He seems confused. Oh, I thought this was the way. And then the truth hits. All of a sudden, the dead bodies of the poor children that so far have fallen start to appear in the sewer. The kids are scared and frightened, not knowing what to do next, and then they realise something is wrong with Maddie. He then transforms into Pennywise. It was a fantastic shot. It looked phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. It was creepy. And then Pennywise went on the attack. In a really then heartbreaking moment, Leroy and his partner, Paulie, are looking for more of their troops, more of what's going on in the mission, trying to find Pennywise. They're juggling all this, and then they hear something, and it's his son and his friends start running towards him, but he thinks it's Pennywise trying to mess with him. He aims his gun, he goes to shoot, but Paulie can see them too. He realizes that no, this is real, this isn't a mind trick, and to save his partner's son, he throws himself in the way and gets shot by Leroy, and tragically loses his life down there in the tunnels. Leroy, is absolutely broken, but he realizes he has to switch on and he has to get the children to safety. They exit very quickly, but what annoyed me is no one seems to notice that Lily got left behind when she tripped. None of her friends, no one, which really peeved me off, because you'd know, okay, I'm a good friend, I'd know if my friend was missing. But anyway, suspend belief. That then leads to Lily being cornered. It was a fantastic moment. She's trapped. Pennywise and begins to approach her, stalking her very creepily, transforms briefly into the thing he tormented her in the second episode, the parts of her dad. Then he goes back into clown form, goes to kill her, opens his mouth, all the teeth, and then he's frozen, like in suspended animation. What's going on? Luckily for Lily, in the water is the weapon Taniel dropped, and Pennywise cannot go any further. He then starts having a bit of a fit as if a reaction to this thing and scurries away. Lily picks up the weapon and exits safely. Awesome moment. It was a really great scene, and I want to know what those carving symbols are on the weapon. It's starting to bug me. We then get a very interesting clip, and I sort of figured it out, and I mean only about 5 minutes before the reveal, but Ingrid, only because we see a little thing of her husband earlier in the episode where he's a bit of a dick. All of a sudden she gets in a car, and I realised and I put it together, of course. And then in the back of the car saying, I need you to take me away, is Mr. Grogan, because he has escaped. The bus was attacked and he is free and on the loose. She drives them into a forest, secluded, nowhere near, and they begin to embrace. Of course, this is the woman that he's been having an affair with. It all now makes sense. Her character is starting to have a serious part to play. They realise they have to seek help, and Mr. Grogan sends Ingrid to seek out Leroy's wife as they need help in this situation. The final thing of the episode, Halloran leaves the tunnels, or has he? In a very weird trance, he sees the zombified version of Paulie who's gone, and then he goes back to his mind and the lockbox is open and there's a bright light. What does this symbolise? Does this symbolise that Pennywise has got him trapped? Why did Pennywise want what was in the lockbox, the memory? What does this all mean? Tell me what you think in the comment section down below, guys. I cannot wait for next week's episode. Right then, guys, final thoughts. I thought it was a fantastic episode. It had suspense. It had the army going after Pennywise and seeing the Pennywise pick them off bit by bit, get in their heads differently and attack them. We had the kids going down there and finally confronting Pennywise and seeing him finally as the clown form. I thought it was fantastic. We got pieces filled in from different things. You know, the Ingrid is obviously tied to Mr. Grogan because they're the ones they've been having an affair with. We have Halloran continuing to have his ability and being warped and weird. And why does Pennywise want Halloran? Because does he want the truth of where they're buried? Is that how he plans to escape Derry? Because we now know that modern place Derry was built on where the forest was. So all the 13 pillars that were buried is like a cage that keeps Pennywise in Derry. And we finally know why he's been trapped in Derry all this time. I felt we got so much from this episode. It was creepy. It was awesome. There was action. And most of all, we got Pennywise. I thought it was phenomenal. Right then, guys, that is the video. Thank you so much for sticking with me in my review and breakdown of It Welcome to Derry Season 1, Episode 5. Before I go, If you can, smash a like on the video, comment something down below. I will always reply. I love to engage. I am a geek and I love to nerd out with people. If you want to subscribe, I'd love to have you. My target of 250 by the end of the year. We're on 245 as it stands. We're getting very close. Maybe we can even set a new target for 300. Who knows? Let's see how we get on. I really appreciate all your support. View time is up, subscribers is up, everything's up, and it's all because of you. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video as always, guys. I've been the Rogue Witcher. I'll see you next time. Adios.